What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Marketing Stream. I'm Jason Pantana. I'm your host, and I'm pumped to get to be with you for another week in a row, talking about marketing, answering questions, trying to add value in terms of when it comes to running your business. How are you marketing yourself? Social media marketing, digital marketing, SEO, video, you name it. So if you are on watching live, if you would, please give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a like. You may be on LinkedIn, you may be on YouTube, you may be on Facebook, wherever you are. Just drop a little note in the comments. Let me know you're there and watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that yet. Let me know you're watching. And if you would, please, if you're watching, tag somebody that should be jumping in right now to watch while we're live and throw some questions into the comments. What's going on, Dion? What's going on, Howard? What's going on, Renee? What's going on, Elgin? Good day, everybody, depending upon where you're coming from. All right, so I see some questions coming in the chat. We're going to get to these. First one is how to use conversion with the landing page. Love it. Effective ways to get listings online. I love it. What's going on, Volta? What's going on, Andrew? Good to see you, man. Put your questions in the comments. We're going to reserve some time at the end to try to address those. But I have some front-loaded questions. So for anybody tuning in, I do this just about every week. It's called Marketing Stream. It's a live Q&A. And pretty much the lay of the land is a couple days before, usually, I post in my Instagram stories, which, by the way, all my handles are kind of floating across the bottom of the screen. In my Instagram stories, I post a story sticker with one of those Ask Me Anything polls for you to ask questions about marketing, video, and whatever you want to ask, which gives me about 24 hours to sometimes do research and try to pin together basically some solid recommendations. And I want to do my best to add value and answer those questions. So today, we got some good ones. I see yours in there, Rhonda. Thanks for throwing that in the chat. We'll try to get to this one too. But let me turn off this little sliding thing at the bottom real quick. And here are the questions just real fast that we plan to cover today. First one is which Facebook ad campaign objectives to run and when to run them, traffic, lead gen, video views, engagement. So we'll talk about when you're running ads on Facebook, what are we going to do in terms of objectives? Now, then I'm going to talk about how do you dispute with Facebook when they reject a boost or they reject an ad, and specifically when they're forcing it under the special ad category. So we're going to make that happen. Then we'll talk about Facebook videos getting less traction than you'd expect. Specifically, if you're posting it to YouTube and then copying the link in Facebook, what to do with that. What tricks are up my sleeve for Success Summit with Tom Ferry coming up in September. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, so this question was killer. Staten Island isn't a perfect 15-mile radius. We're going to talk about what to do when you're running ads on Facebook and you've got that imposed 15-mile radius in North America that's required as part of the special ad category. What do you do about that? Are there any workarounds? So I'll cover that today. A couple more. How do you create consistency in your social media presence? And then what's the best place to get buyer tip and seller tip video ideas and titles? So I got a lot of ground to cover today. That's what we're going to get into. Again, if you're watching and you haven't given me a thumbs up, a heart, a like, if you would, it would mean the world to me. To the algorithm too, if you would please. And then just comment. Let me know what your questions are. I want to try to answer those in the comments. And then if there's somebody that should be watching, tag them right now so they can come over while we're live and they can, have all this wonderful marketing bliss together. We'll have a blast. All right. First question up. And as always, whenever I do one of these shows, I will go back in post and I will add, I actually type out all my answers so that I have the copy, and I'll put the questions and the answers in the description on YouTube, the actual copy about the live stream. And I'll put it in the caption on Facebook as well so that you can go back after the fact and kind of read through my remarks, which are gonna, I'm gonna just talk and talk. That's what I do. I'm kind of verbose. And I try to consolidate the answers in the comments. But don't let that stop you from watching live. Don't go back later. You want to watch now. So keep on watching. And let's jump into the first question. Here it is up on the screen. Which Facebook ad campaign objectives to run and when to run them? And some examples are there's traffic, there's lead generation, video views, post engagement, that is ad engagement, etc. This is from Sia Realtor on Instagram, asked the question, which Facebook ad campaigns to run and when do I choose them? Let me, if I could, I'm going to share up my screen so you can see how Facebook lines up so I'm inside the Facebook Ads Manager, facebook.com/ads, ADS manager, facebook.com/ads manager. Technically, I'm inside the business manager, which is a whole nother conversation. So I am technically running ads out of a advertising account that is in my business manager, but just let's keep it really simple today. Facebook.com/ads manager. And here I am. This is where you truly run ads. This is beyond, for anybody who's new to Facebook advertising, I talk a lot about it. A lot of you might have boosted posts in Facebook. That's an ad. It's a simple light version of an ad, but it's an ad. Or you may have even clicked on a section inside your Facebook page called the Ad Center. I want to make sure you guys can see me. Yeah, you can see me. Okay. Called the Ad Center. An Ad Center is kind of a scaled down version of advertising on Facebook. So just kind of know that if you really want to get into the heavy lifting, powerful ads, facebook.com/ads manager. Okay, so there's 3 sections: campaign view, ad set view, ad view, levels of building out an ad. We're going to go, this is like a table of contents over here. So the first thing you do when you're running an ad on Facebook is it says, hey, what's your marketing objective? Now, out of the gate, is it a special ad category? What are my options? Ads about credit, employment, housing, social issues, elections, or politics. So I'm talking real estate, so I'm going to choose housing. Ads for real estate listings, homeowners insurance, mortgage loans, and other related opportunities. That's vague. We'll talk about that in the next question. So I'm going to go ahead and choose housing just because that's the proper protocol if I'm running a housing ad. Those are the rules. What's my marketing objective? So this is the opening screen, and there is this handy dandy little link right there, Sia, just so you know. But I want you to notice that there's 3 columns. They break this down into the 3 stages of your traditional sales funnel. Your traditional is called the customer journey map: awareness, consideration, conversion, sometimes called decision or purchase. Really, a sales funnel has 3 primary stages. Awareness, meaning a lead, a prospect, or whatever you want to call that person, enters into a state of awareness. I'm aware of a product's existence and the possibility of it serving me on some level. Then consideration is I'm beyond aware of it. I'm considering making the decision to buy that thing, sell that thing, move into that transaction, if you will. And it's consideration because I'm researching my options. That's middle intent, I-N-T-E-N-T, intent. And then conversion, or sometimes called decision, meaning I'm ready to act or take action. So I want to point out, Sia, out of the gate, they've organized the campaign objectives into these 3 main stages of the traditional sales funnel. So you should ask the question first. The question is, what should I choose from an objective standpoint? An objective being the goal. What is the thing I want them to do? What is the purpose of the ad? The main purpose of the ad. Do I want them just to know who I am? It's just about reach or brand awareness, which I hardly ever choose these. And quick sidebar. I don't actually think these objectives necessarily line up with each stage appropriately. They're kind of arrayed here from the position of Facebook's perspective. What is conversion in the eyes of Facebook? What is traffic in the eyes of Facebook, or yada, yada, yada. So let me just kind of give you my 10 cents. I don't really ever use brand awareness or reach very much. I figure at that point, why not do engagement? You know what I mean? So the ones that most of my clients and the folks we work with when I teach Marketing Edge for Tom Ferry or any of our seminars or webinars or anything like that, the ones we typically hover around are traffic, engagement, video views, lead gen, maybe send messages, and conversions. Catalog sales, that's for like e-commerce people, so don't even worry about that. We don't have a catalog for them to buy a product through an e-commerce. Store traffic, not going to matter for you either. Brand awareness and reach, again, my points with these two is why not just do engagement? So let's talk about engagement first. Engagement means a heart, a like, a comment. They open up the photo and look at it. They engage with the post on some level, because really, fundamentally, a Facebook ad is nothing more than a Facebook post with money behind it and targeting behind it. So it's just a post with money. So they engage with that post, that ad. You could, and what you're saying here to Facebook, and what they're basically saying is, tell me what you want. What is the fundamental purpose of your ad? What is the action that this ad is designed to get someone to take? And tell me, Facebook says, and it's then my job to deliver it to people who are the most likely, and according to your targeting, the most likely to take that action. Now, the problem is, like in real estate, a lot of people are always like, I want them to call me. Well, yeah, I know you want them to call you. It's kind of like a game of football. Like, yeah, we know you want a touchdown. I know, but you're at the 20-yard line. So it's all about the first down. Then you get into a scoring position, right? So when you think about like, what is the purpose? What is the objective of an ad? You can't see it in the grand scheme of ultimately, I want the touchdown, meaning I want them to call me and buy a house or sell a house. Of course you do. But you got to look at it as first downs. What's the first down that this ad is playing to get? So it might be I just want to warm them up, right? I want them to engage with my post. I want to be on their radar. I want them to like me. I want to become familiar. I want them to start to trust me. I want them to see my value as a knowledge broker. So engagement. Traffic means I want them to click a button and go to my website. Traffic means drive traffic to a destination. Now, if I click traffic, just so you know, I'm going to click it real quick. I'll show you this. And I'm going to go to the next screen. Let it load. Next screen. It's going to go to the ad set level. It's going to ask me to clarify by traffic, what do you mean? Now understand that this level, there's some sections here that are now here because I chose traffic as an objective. Do I want to drive traffic to a website? Let's try to zoom in there. To an app, to Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp? So where do I want to drive traffic? Normally people choose a website or a landing page, just a URL of some type. Let's go back to the objective level. If I said engagement, I'll just click it. It wants to know down here. Just notice how it kind of randomly puts things in certain places based. It's not exactly clean lines of this section is for this and this section is for that. They kind of make the sections up based upon what you choose here, which is kind of confusing. I get it, but it says what kind of engagement. Post engagement, page likes, event responses, which nobody's really doing events right now, but that's actually, once we're back to events, that's a pretty cool little tweak, a little optimization. Video views. Video views means, hey, Facebook's like, I'm going to show this ad to people who are likely to watch the video. That's a type of engagement, but it's a specific type of engagement. And I can later on even clarify, I'll get into this later, I can specify how much of the video do I want them to watch. 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? How much do I want them to watch? Lead generation. This is a good one. This is an actual lead form. So if I choose lead generation, what I'm saying is, hey, Facebook, when they click the call to action button, learn more, shop now, contact us, whatever I say that button's going to be, when they click that, I'm saying, Facebook, I want there to be an instant form. That's what it's called, an instant form that pops up and it says name, number, email, whatever custom information I want. In other words, I want to capture the contact information of that person inside of Facebook. So when Facebook says, so like traffic and lead gen can easily be confused. Let's pretend you've got a landing page, and the landing page is going to say, pop up, you can't go on unless you give us your name and email address, right? That's lead capture. So if you have a website that can do the lead capture part of it, you may be better served to choose traffic because, again, thinking about like first downs, what's the main objective of this campaign? It might just be to get people to the website. And then the website takes it from there, right? That's the next play. So the play that it's trying to run is get into the website. You got to think in like, what is the immediate thing that this ad is supposed to do? Get them to click a link and go to a website. Get them to fill out a form inside of Facebook because maybe I lack the website. That's going to do the lead capture for me. Messages is I want them to send me a message. Now, notice I could choose send messages and I could do it's kind of ironic. Not ironic, that's the wrong word, but it's interesting. I could choose traffic and still later on the next screen that I showed you, I could choose Messenger or WhatsApp, or I could do it here. So I guess it's kind of six one way, half dozen another. And then over here, there's conversion. So just so you know, I don't really focus on app installs, brand awareness, reach, catalog sales, or store traffic. Conversions is super cool, but conversions requires that your Facebook pixel be installed. Facebook pixel means that you give Facebook tracking code, you install it on the back end of your website so that Facebook can know who's on your website, what page are they on, what are they doing, what actions are they taking, so that you can then retarget them on a basis of that. But conversions means, because again, what you're telling Facebook here, what's your marketing objective? Facebook's saying, I'm going to take your money. Tell me what it is you're paying for. And you can literally say, I'm paying for conversions. What that means is it's more than traffic. It's like the level up of traffic. Not only do I want them to go to a website, but I want the pixel to track a specific conversion event. In other words, I have a specific thing I want them to do on my website. It could be fill out a form, navigate to a certain page, take some action on my website. And you can then create what's called a custom conversion. You're going to do that like up here. I'd click my menu. I go into my events manager to make that custom conversion. And this is a little like, this is high, this is like level up. This is higher level. But you can actually then tell Facebook, I want you to optimize the delivery of my ad on the basis of people doing that thing, that custom conversion event on my website. So there are your options. Let's go back to, I'm going to turn this off for a second and see what the comments are and all that kind of fun stuff. Question is, which campaign objective should I use? I need you to think like strategically. What's the first down we're playing for? Do I want to get the lead? And is from Facebook's vantage point, am I getting the lead in Facebook, or am I actually going to get the lead on my website, which means the job of Facebook is just to get them to my website? You got to think like, what is the immediate purpose of this ad? And also it boils down to intent, awareness, consideration, conversion, or I like to say decision. Those are the stages a customer walks through in any type of a sales funnel. That's traditional, right? Where are they at? Are they just starting out? Is there low intent? Because I got to tell you, like if you're targeting a cold audience and they don't know who you are, they don't know what your offer is, in fact, Tom Ferry and I did a podcast on this like 2 or 3 times. We've talked about this. You should go back and look at our podcast we did together. You got to ask yourself the question of, what is the audience I'm going to target? Is it a cold audience? Is it a warm audience? Do they know me? Do they not know me? Do I know their interest level? Do I need to run some ads that are softer in the sense of I just want them to see my video views. I just want them to like my page or like my posts, engagement. So think through like, where is this person at that I'm targeting? What is the next step I want them to take? And then choose the objective that fits that most appropriately. Let me check the comments real quick and see how we're doing here. A lot's coming in. You'd need a PhD for the Facebook Ad Center. Thanks for and no, the Facebook Ad Center is the light version. The Ad Center is the one on your Facebook page. Like if I go to my Facebook page is facebook.com/Jason Pantana. It's my regular Facebook page. There's a thing that says Ad Center. That's the light version. It's the Ads Manager. That's what I was just in. The Ads Manager, yes, you practically would need some type of an advanced degree. I think you're right, Andrew. By the way, Clayton, thanks for tagging Natalie. I hope she's watching. Natalie, if you're watching, give it a heart, give it a like. Zach Kennedy, the football analogy is gold. That's about as much as I can give on the subject. I'm limited in sports metaphors, but whenever I see a good one, batter up. I take it. I swing. Sia said, and I appreciate the follow-up. Can you use videos for lead gen and traffic? So it was your question, so I'm going to follow up on this follow-up question. Can you use videos? Because remember, a Facebook ad is just a post with money behind it, right? In a post is just a photo, a video, some text, some links, media, right? Hence, social media. Media designed to create social engagement. That's all that it is. Can I use a video for lead gen and traffic? And the answer is you can. However, I would give you this thought, because I've been asked this before, like, hey, what's the best type of media? Do photos work better or do videos work better? What works better for, say, like traffic as an objective, meaning click the button and go to the link, or lead gen, meaning click the button and a form pops up and you auto-complete and fill it out? I would ask the question, is the video a deterrent or a distraction from that thing happening? Video is always king and queen, right? We know video's in charge. We know that. But because video is just so amazing, I would ask the question, does it actually distract the viewer from taking the action you want them to take? And one way to figure it out is when you get down into I'll share my screen again. I may not be able to show this completely right now. If I get down into these ad levels, so I think I've got traffic selected, right? I chose traffic. I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Now I got messages. Let's choose traffic. Select traffic like this. All right. Traffic. Trying to. Okay, I got traffic, and I'm going to jump on down to, I'm skipping the whole ad set thing right now. Jumping down to the ad level, which is the creative. That's where I choose the media and all that kind of stuff. And it's loading slow. There's a thunderstorm outside, so hopefully I don't lose power or something. I can name it. I'm going to confirm my identity. That's my Facebook page. There's my Instagram. I'm going to confirm that information. I can choose a single image or a video or a collection, but I should be able to do multiple things. I could do, no, actually, I'm so silly. I'm sorry, scratch that. Do you see this little section here called Dynamic Creative? I'm going to go back. I don't know, honestly, the fact that Dynamic Creative is in the ad set level is kind of confusing. But you may want to be interested in this one. Provide creative elements such as images or headlines and will automatically generate combinations optimized for your audience. So you could theoretically turn this on right here. And later on, it will let you basically have, hey, try it out with photos and videos and see which one performs better, right? End of day for your question, it just depends. Is it a distraction? Test it, see which one performs better, and then whichever one is winning, give it the money, give it the budget of the other one, and shut the other one off. That's kind of a confusing answer, but I think I got it. All right, let's look at the comments here. Natalie, thank you for tagging. Christopher, you are so smart, Christopher. You are like the queen of social media marketing right there. Okay, I think we did enough with that one. Let's go to question number 2. I gotta hurry up because that took like 22 minutes. Oh gosh, here's a biggie. How do you dispute Facebook, as if that's a thing? How do you dispute Facebook when they keep rejecting your boost and forcing it under the special ad category? Pam Holmes. Pam, thank you for your question. How do you dispute Facebook? The first thing I would say is don't ever use the word dispute with Facebook. How do you, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of anything offhand. How do you dispute Facebook? All right, let me first of all explain the special ad category for anybody watching. 2019, there was a lawsuit that settled between the National Fair Housing Alliance and Facebook. Facebook was sued because they were enabling folks like real estate agents, mortgage officers, and so forth to target their ads on a basis of discrimination in a way that violated, here in the US, fair housing laws. So Facebook lost the lawsuit, there was a settlement, and then last year, throughout the year, Facebook was rolling out their changes to become compliant with fair housing. Some of their changes were like, they kind of went above and beyond, in my opinion, on some. Like the 15-mile radius thing they put in place, that was more like they wanted to really just, hey, we want to really hedge our bets. I don't want redlining to happen, so we're going to make sure that it can't happen. So they kind of went pretty deep on some of these things. But special ad category is if you run ads that are related to housing, you're under it, right? So if you're real estate agents, you're under it. Now, let me say this. I am not, this is the second week in a row I've had to say this. I am not an attorney. Nothing I'm going to say is legal advice, nor am I a fair housing expert by any stretch. I put the onus of responsibility on you as licensed professionals and agents to know to know the truth on this. However, it seems like what tends to happen is if your page runs ads about housing, then pretty much everything you ever post is going to fall under that housing category. This is the part where I'm not giving legal advice. This is the part where I am not giving legal advice. However, I read, and I'm not a fair housing expert, but I could have sworn that I read fair housing advertising applies to any type of ad that's about the sale or leasing of real property and or brokerage services. And so I think fair housing technically applies to brokerage service offers and housing offers, which kind of means everything. That's my interpretation. So I think, and this is not my expertise, I'm going to try to answer your question in a second, but I'm not sure you're going to get very far, Pam. That's my point. I think you're going to be held subject to it. Now, I will tell you what some agents do. Some agents run multiple Facebook pages. They've got community Facebook pages that are not under real estate per se. And so they can run ads like they're community focused. They don't have any sales types of offerings. They can run whatever they want to run related to the community. And then because they own that Facebook page, they actually get all the engagement audiences from that Facebook page. So when they go back into their regular business page, they can create custom audiences whereby they retarget people who say viewed the videos or liked the post on that other page or who liked that other page, right? So a lot of agents, and I'm not necessarily condoning this, but a lot of other agents, some did it because some already had these pages in place where they were just doing community pages because they didn't want it to be salesy. So that's one thing I would point out to you. Your question was, how do I dispute it? Let me go to my notes. I wrote this down. I said, in short, I'm reading my notes. You don't really dispute Facebook. That said, here's some ideas. Number one, you could request a manual review of your ad, meaning if the ad's rejected, you can request, you'll go into the account quality section. So if you're in the business manager, you're going to click on the main menu, choose the account quality, pretty much where like you could just, when they reject it, just click the link and it will go to the account quality section. And there should be an option somewhere around there to request a manual review. What that means is a person at Facebook, not a bot, not an algorithm or a piece of code. A person will look over your ad and decide, this one's okay. And so I would definitely try the manual review. You could also go to, I've got a link for you here. Write this down, www.facebook.com/business/help. Facebook.com/business/help. I think I opened it already, so let me share my screen. Yeah, Facebook.com/business/help. And if you go here during business hours, you're going to see an option to, apparently it's unavailable today. I can email them. I don't know why it's not on right now. They must not have anybody working. They'll just gray it out, but you can sometimes live chat with an actual employee at Facebook or email them and contact support and say, hey, this happened. What do you think about this? But here's my 10 cents. Never talk to Facebook in a way where you're like, you're doing this wrong. Don't ever wag your finger at Facebook. It does not bode well and it won't work for you. You want to come and say, hey, thank you so much, like grovel. That's what you want to do. Grovel. Thank you so much for taking time to look at this. Hey, here's what I'm struggling with. It looks like they're wanting me to say this, but I think it's not that because of this. Can you take a look and tell me what you think? You want to have that level of humility, but that's another point of contact. And then what else did I write down here? That is what I wrote down in my notes. I'll give you one more piece of advice on this topic, and then I'm going to move on. Next thing is if your ad's rejected, I do not recommend trying to fix it the way you think it needs to be fixed and then just resubmitting it for approval, because if you did not fix the thing they wanted you to fix, because they're usually not very clear about what you did wrong. Sometimes they are, but if you're not 100% sure that you actually fixed it, you could flag your account for a larger violation and have your Facebook ads account shut down completely, which is bad. It's happened. It's happened to me before. For that reason, bad. They are quick to cancel an ad account. So I would say tread lightly. What you're going to want to do is you can request a manual review, but otherwise I would actually pull the whole thing down and start it over, trying to make the changes That way you show that you're not going to try to run an ad twice with the same mistake. This is the tricky part about Facebook. This part's a little bit finicky, so I hope that helps. Let me see what else we got going on. Zachary Faust, you're the man. What's going on, Zachary Faust? All right, let's get back to question number 3. My Facebook videos are getting less traction than I expect. Could it be because I posted a YouTube link? Is native upload better? Yes and yes. That was a short question. So yes and yes. If your videos, if you're going into YouTube and you're uploading a video to YouTube, and then you're taking the link to share it, and you're going into Facebook and you're posting the link to the YouTube video, meaning somebody's going to click the video, they're clicking the link to go watch the video on YouTube. I've used this one before, but basically what Facebook is going to hear is, excuse me, you're going to come into my house and with YouTube links? Not going to happen in my house, right? Like, you're bringing their competitor and you're cheating on Facebook with YouTube links from their vantage point. So I would tell you, like, yeah, native upload, meaning you go into YouTube, you upload it to YouTube. You go into Facebook, you click upload, you pull it off the hard drive of your machine or the camera roll of your phone. You literally put it on LinkedIn, you put it on Facebook, you put it on YouTube. As far as Facebook and Instagram sharing, I'm okay with that because they're owned by the same company and they don't tend to get as grouchy about it. So I have no issue with syncing between those two things. But otherwise, we native upload every time. That's going to hurt you. Plus, there's another inherent consequence of doing the link posting thing from YouTube. Because you didn't actually upload a video to Facebook. You act like the media, remember, it's social media. You got a social network where people use media, photos, videos, links, things like that, text, and then people socialize around that media. You did not choose a video. You chose a link, which means people are socializing around a link. So they can't actually watch the video in Facebook. They're going to click it and go to YouTube, which means when they're watching that really great scene, oh, it's so funny, ha ha ha, they can't comment on Facebook because they're not inside Facebook. They're on YouTube. Now, granted, I love YouTube, so that's all great. So if you're willing to sacrifice your Facebook engagement to get YouTube, I mean, I suppose go for it, but there are better ways. And I'd rather see you, look, from Facebook's perspective, I'd rather see you run an ad with traffic as your objective and just be clear, I'm trying to drive them to YouTube. And Facebook's like, well, at least he's paying for it. That's sort of my thought on this matter. Okay, got a couple of comments. What else we got going on? What's going on, Hermes from San Jose? Glad you're here. Got a bunch of y'all watching today. All right, let's go back to next question. Ooh, this is a good one. I like it, Andrew. Living in Staten Island says, what tricks are up your sleeve for the Tom Ferry Success Summit, which happens to be September 1 through 3. Let me share my screen. I'm going to put a link, by the way, in my show notes in YouTube and on Facebook when we're done for you to go to a website where you should register. But here it is, September 1 through 3. It's an online event with Mr. Tom Ferry, Kingpin himself. You all should register for this thing. Go to the link that's going to be in my show notes when we're done. But this thing's going to, like, 54 breakout sessions. It's going to be, Gary V's our keynote. It's going to be nuts. Anyways, on to your question, what tricks are up my sleeve? You'll have to wait. I'm going to reveal them. Not that it's, I'll tell you what they are. I'm going to talk a lot about video from an SEO standpoint. I am seeing a massive trend right now where YouTube is growing. We got so many coaching clients who are actually making a lot of money off of people who find them on YouTube. So I'm going to get into YouTube and SEO. And, like, for example, I don't know if you've seen suggested clips from Google, but the two most popular websites on the planet are Google and YouTube. They're both search engines and they happen to both be owned by Alphabet. So I'm going to dig into video as an SEO component. I'm going to talk about lead nurturing like crazy. I'm going to give you a lead nurturing plan because one of the challenges is whether it's Facebook or PPC or Zillow, lead generation is easy, right? Do you really need another lead? What you need is leads that are converted. And there's this awareness, consideration, decision, this customer journey that occurs from the time you get a lead to the time they actually transact. How are you nurturing them? So I'm going to dive in and give you a specific plan on nurturing. I'm going to do a class on a specific marketing checklist that's designed to generate listing appointments. Like, literally you follow it. It's going to be carbon copy, do it exactly the way it's listed out. I've got a session, this one's going to be exciting, called Phone-Free Alternatives to FSBO and Expired Listings. So I'm going to break down what some of our best coaching clients are doing aside from just cold calling expireds and FSBOs. How are they running videos, deploying automated marketing campaigns, Facebook retargeting, Google Display Network retargeting? How are they really staying in front of expireds in a way that's marketing centric, marketing driven, and not just straight up sales calls? So those are things I'm going to get into. I'm pumped. It's going to be a fun time. So I hope you'll go into the show notes when we're done. You'll check out the link. And if you're not registered for our Success Summit, it's September 1 through 3. TomFerry.com will work too. Just register, get yourself there. Next question. Staten Island isn't a perfect 15-mile radius, making reference to the special ag category, which I already talked about today. Should I map starting in Brooklyn, given that Brooklyn residents tend to buy or move to Staten Island? So first things first, let's say Brooklyn, New York map. Let's get a little visual aid. I'm pulling this thing up real fast. I mean, I know where Brooklyn is. I used to live in Hoboken, but this is for anybody who doesn't. All right, let me share my screen. Here comes the map. So here's Brooklyn, here's Staten Island, right? So Staten Island is certainly larger. Its circumference is more than a 15-mile radius. We know that. So the concern is, if I understand your question, is, hey, I have to do a 15-mile radius with my ads because of the nature of the special ad category. But when I do that, I'm getting a little bit of Brooklyn, a little bit of Jersey and all this kind of stuff. Would it be better if I drop my pin somewhere more in the middle? Because Brooklyn tends to be more of a feeder market for Staten Island. And I would say out of the gate, yeah, that's probably a smart play. I like that idea. Let me read you what else I wrote. Pulling up my notes real fast. Okay, first point. Make sure your content is on message. So be sure, because of this 15-mile radius thing, it's never been more important that you're specific in your content, like the title of your video, what it says in the caption, the headlines. All that stuff should say Staten Island this, Staten Island that. Make sure the words Staten Island are all over the place. That way, if I'm in Jersey, for instance, and I don't care about Staten Island, I'm going to choose to ignore it because I can basically self-select out knowing that it's not for me. So I would say the first thing is be super clear in your content using words and language that lets me know as a viewer very quickly, it's for me, it's not for me. It's for me, it's not for me. So Staten Island needs to be all over that. And the other thing of this is a lot of people don't think about the algorithm behind the Facebook ad campaigns. Facebook's algorithm is going to work hard to try to show your ad to people who are likely to achieve whatever objective you specify. Link clicks, lead gen, video views, traffic, whatever you specified, right? So if you can give them more clues, again, like saying Staten Island, thinking about moving to Staten Island, selling in Staten Island, those are, if you put that in the caption, you can't quantify this directly. But Facebook, the first 24 hours of your ad campaign, Facebook's in a learning phase. What that means is they're looking for whatever clues you can give to them to help them serve your ad to the right audience. So if you're clear in the caption, don't discount the fact that that could actually have an algorithmic impact on who sees the ad. What else did I write down here? I'm trying to catch my place. Oh, I was going to tell you, be sure to utilize the right campaign objectives. So let's get my screen back open. I want to share this with you. All right, so I'm back in my ads manager, right? And I'm going to go back up to the campaign level. There are a couple of campaigns. So the question I'm going to ask you right now is, when you run an ad on Facebook, and put it in, I want to answer in the chat. When you run an ad on Facebook, what are they billing you for? What are you actually paying for? Is it hearts, likes, views, clicks? What are you paying for? What are they charging you for? Put it in the chat for me. I want to see it. When you run an ad on Facebook, what are you actually paying for? Anybody, put it in there. Okay. I'm waiting. There's like a 13-second delay on this thing. I don't really want to wait. I'll tell you the answer, even though you might have already answered and it's stuck somewhere between here and outer space trying to get to my browser. The answer is you're paying for impressions. What's an impression? An impression is anytime your post gets seen for a split second. They don't have to like it. They don't have to heart it. They don't have to do anything. You're paying for impressions, except there are a few instances where you're not. So let me show you how to do that. Traffic, video views, and conversions have special tricks up their sleeves. They allow you to, in the budgeting section here, to change what you're paying for. So I'm going to use video views first, and then I'm going to click straight down to budget and schedule. This is my table of contents. And when I do that, I've got this option to, it's saying it's optimized ad deliveries for through plays. What's a through play? A through play means Facebook saying, we're going to try to show the video to people who meet whatever other criterion you give us, but they're the most likely to watch either the whole video or at least 15 seconds of it. So that's a through play. Just for comparison, on YouTube, they call it a true view. That's a 30-second view, or the duration of a video. So Facebook, they got this thing called through plays. It's 15 seconds or the duration of a video. They're trying to get people to watch for longer. What they found, it used to be optimized for 10-second views. But what they found is, when it was a 10-second view, watching a video on Facebook for 10 seconds versus 15 seconds, they determined was basically the difference of watching it by accident versus watching it on purpose with intent. So they were going to optimize it for delivery for through plays. But if I click show more options, when am I getting charged? Notice how they hid that? I had to expand it. Show more options in the budget and schedule section. Show more options. When am I getting charged? Impressions. So all the time, getting charged. Unless I click edit, and I can change it to through plays. So what that means now is maybe my ad is actually expanded outside of a region where I want, like you're Staten Island, but people in Jersey are getting it, and that's not really your target audience. But at least, unless they're watching it on purpose, I'm not paying for it. Let's go back up here to objective. This one's good too, traffic. If I choose traffic as an objective, and then come down here to my budget and schedule, I can do the same thing. I got to click show more options. Notice here it's optimized for link clicks. You may be tempted to change it to landing page views, because landing page views implies not just that we're going to show it to people who are the most likely to click the button, but that are the most likely to click the button and actually wait the 5 seconds for your website to load. But if you do that, you undo what I'm about to show you. So I need to keep it on link clicks, click show more options, change it from impressions to link clicks, CPC. So once again, if they're outside my target area and I'm clear in the content, it's for Staten Island. Moving to Staten Island, Staten Island, Staten Island, then theoretically, unless you're just kind of a bozo, you're not going to click the link unless you care about the content. And if you don't click the link, you don't cost me anything. Link click, CPC. Now, if I change it to landing page views, check out what happens. I get grayed out. I can't change it. It's stuck on impressions. So that's another tip for you. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes that's worth bringing up to you. I'm reading my notes. Oh, that's all I wrote in the notes. One more thing that's off script a little bit. And this is a little taboo, but if you had a list, for instance, like an Excel spreadsheet of all the people that you were targeting, you could theoretically create a custom audience whereby you upload that CSV list as a customer list and you target that way. But you didn't hear that from me. So moving on. Next question. Hang on, I have a question. How do I get the view you have on your screen where menu is on the left-hand side? Oh, I probably know. I think I know what that means, Sia. Let me share my screen. I assume you're talking about the ads manager here. Let's go back up to the top to the campaign level. You're probably in the quick creation, switch to quick creation. Yours probably, I'm going to leave this page. Yours probably looks like, wait for it. Well, it's going to load. Like this, and I would switch to guided creation. Okay, I think that's your question. Let me stop my share. So guided creation. What's up, Chris Fox? Smiley face back to you, man. Let's see what else we got. Where are we at? 2 more questions, then I'll get into the comments. So be thinking about what questions you want to ask. If you have anything, I'd love to help. Again, I'm not a guru. I don't think I have all the answers, but I like giving my opinion. I'm good at that. I can always have an opinion. This one is from Lauren Gent Realtor. Thank you for asking your question, Lauren. How do I create consistency when building a social media presence? How do I create consistency when building a social media presence? That's a super practical question. First, and I'm going to look at my notes, I would set up, what's your weekly cadence? What do you want to post? Are you going to post every day of the week? Are you going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday? 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week? I know I skipped 6, but you get the gist, right? What's your cadence of posting? And then with my own clients, I talk a lot about there's sort of 2 phases of posting. There's planned content, like I wrote a blog. I did a video. I planned the content versus triggered content, such as, I got a new listing. I got to do my just listed post, right? So sometimes you get a listing, you get an open house. These things kind of crop up in your schedule. And so you don't necessarily have to plan content in terms of posts every day of the week, because you can fill in with sort of that triggered content, like I got a listing, those sorts of things throughout the week. But the question still remains, what's your pattern? What's your cadence every week? I would map it out. Like, I love the DeBoer group out in Greenwood, Indiana. They got it like Mondays is Monday coming at you. Tuesdays is Outtake Tuesdays. Wednesday giveaway. Thursday there's like something else, review day or whatever. Like, they got a day for every day. Stephen Kim in Toronto does the same thing. One of our coaches and Rockstar coaching clients. Same thing. He's got a 7-day-a-week schedule. If you want to get consistency, I want you to map out what's the ideal schedule. What content is going to get produced on an episodic, regular basis. And then second, I would template out your content so that it's rinse and repeat. Let me give you an example of that. When I say template it out, let me share my screen. Let's jump over to Instagram for a quick second. I'll use the FARs. Krista, you're probably watching, but they're the perfect example. He's a good example too, Brian Skates. FAR group, Northwest. Aaron and Krista, man, they're so good at like under contract, sold, under contract, just listed, sold, just listed, offer accepted. Like, it's just like change out the photo, swap the address, go. All these things, they just save them in Canva. Canva has this tool and they charge for it, but it's called Brand Kit. Build your own brand kit. You can load in your colors, your fonts, your logo, and you can even, I'm going to scroll down to show you this, choose templates, and it will lock in. Here's your standardized just listed template, just sold template, offer accepted, under contract template, testimonial quote card template, market update template. Here are your overlays and thumbnail templates. You can create thumbnails in Canva. So I would say part 1 is, for consistency's sake, is what's your weekly schedule or monthly schedule, whatever you want to look at. Part 2 is, how can you standardize the templates of recurring content so you can speed up the creative process. And to me, Canva is a no-brainer. Third, I would say front load your content. Map out your schedule, build your templates, and then get like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule. So your content is backloaded. That way, if you get busy, and when you get busy, because you will, you're not going to be like, I've got to sell these houses and show these properties, and I've got to make this video. Every time, that's where the road test crashes. You need to be front loaded to have content sort of in the hopper, ready to go, to give yourself margin for when you get busy. Practical sense. And then the last thing I said here is, don't overdo it. Don't assume you've got to come up with something to post 7 days a week. Again, you're going to fill in with just listed, offer accepted, under contract. Come up with a few posts a week and then scale it up from there. But I'd rather see you really lock in on quality content where you're locked in, dialed in, making that at a high level, and then you kind of expand to the next level of, now we're going to add this and add this and add this. And you'll have analytics and ROI and ways to measure against it to make sure that it's even warranted. Don't try to bite off too much too soon. That's my advice. Last question, then I go to the comments. What's the best place to get buyer tip or seller tip video ideas or titles? Love the question. I'm going to read you my answer. And when I post my answer, there are a ton of links in this. So you're going to want to go back after, it's probably tonight, but you're going to want to go back and read my description and my caption on Facebook, on YouTube, so that you can click the links. I'll put them in there for you. So here's what I said. For starters, simply ask. Send out an email to your past clients and ask them for ideas of where they could have used more info when they were working with you. Do a post on Facebook. Hey, what are the questions you've got about buying and selling? I'm trying to put together a white paper or whatever. People love to give you their opinions. If you don't want to put it in the comment, you can message me privately. That's fine. Do an Ask Me Anything poll on Instagram. hey, working on some research, what are your top buyer questions, seller questions? Or working on a video series, want to make sure I'm answering your top questions. What are your top 3 questions as a buyer, as a seller? And do the Instagram story Ask Me Anything sticker. What else did I say? Read through comments on old posts. Like if you did a video before, what other questions came up in the comments? Reflect on questions your clients asked you in the past. So I would just say, like, sit down, get a piece of paper, think through all your buyers, put their names in front of you, look at their files. Oh, that's the one where we realized it was a manufactured home and we didn't know it. Oh, that's the one where we realized that there was a issue with the appraisal. And start writing down the questions, right? Writing down the questions that you've experienced in your journey as an agent. Scan FAQs on competitors' websites. Peruse through Quora and other types of online forums, Active Rain, whatever, for ideas. Here's where the links come in. This one's a little bit fancier. Use tools like BuzzSumo, B-U-Z-Z Sumo, S-U-M-O, or keywordtool.io. I'll put the links in the description. What BuzzSumo does is it shows you what types of content is trending on social media. So you can figure out if there's actually a topic there. Keyword.io does that, but for Google search. Utilize and go hyperlocal on Keeping Current Matters. So literally go to the Keeping Current Matters agent blog, see all the stuff they're talking about, and then take that stuff and talk about it locally. Next, same difference with Housing Wire. Take the news, that's macro, make it micro. Check out trends.google.com. So Google Trends. You can basically see what kinds of queries are people searching on Google. Now, that's going to be pretty broad. I don't know that you're going to get too much that's too specific, but you can do that. You can also use their autocomplete feature. Start typing in real estate and just see what comes up. You can also use what's called their Google Search Console. The Google Search Console, now it's only specific to your domain, but you can connect the Google Search Console to your website, your domain, and what it will do is it will tell you what were the things people were searching on Google when they found your website. What were the keywords? What other websites are they visiting? And it tells you all kinds of analytics about what people are doing who actually come to your website. What are some of their specific queries? Meaning searches on Google. What else did I write down? As for titles, because you asked about titles too, I give you 2 websites. I'll put them in the show notes. I want to remind you of titles for like title of a video, title of a Facebook post, whatever, of a blog. Keywords are more important than being cute. Keywords are more important than being cute. Understand, because we're playing for SEO, right? You're making all this stuff so people can search for it and find it. What are the words they are using in their search? What are their words? Now, I want you to think about this. I'm doing a show called Marketing Stream. It's a live Q&A. So literally every week, I am asking you to ask me questions. And then every week, I am literally taking and copying and pasting your questions into YouTube, the second most popular search engine on the planet. I'm copying your keywords into Facebook. I'm putting my answers to your questions on video and in text. Can I be very candid? What I'm trying to do is enhance the likelihood of me showing up as a suggested clip when somebody searches that same question on Google. I'm doing the same thing. And I'm using Instagram stories to source my questions. What else did I say? So anyways, if you want, keywords are more important than the fancy titles. However, if you need help kind of being creative and coming up with headline style titles, you might want to check out SEO Presser. That's SEOPRESSOR. I'll give you a link in the show notes. And then I've used this one in the past. It's okay. It's called Portent's Content Idea Generator. PORTENT''S, Portent's Content Idea Generator. What you do is you type in a noun, like I could say real estate, or I could say appraisal, and I'll push go, and it will give me like 50 titles that use the word appraisal. And some of it's cute. It's going to say like, what your mom never told you about appraisals. And you're going to be like, nobody's ever going to actually search that on Google. So from an SEO standpoint, that doesn't really do me a lot of good. Sure, it's cute and funny, but it doesn't really do me a lot of good. Keywords matter more than anything. However, I applaud this idea. It's a killer question. You should be the knowledge broker. You should be making more buyer-seller videos using keywords based upon their search to make sure you're dominating in SEO on YouTube, on Google, all over the place, so that people see you as the knowledge broker in your local marketplace. So I love the question. Catch my breath. All right, let's go to the regular comments. Hide that one. Let's see what we got. Okay. Nobody gave Koki. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody wants 3. Let me mark that one as spam block user. Sorry, guys. All right, that one's done. I'm gonna go back up to the questions. Let me see what we can do here. Sorry, guys. I had a heckler in my chat, in my comment. Sometimes they do that. All right, Dion. How to use conversions with a landing page in Facebook. Actually, I kind of talked about that. So what you're going to want to do is you got to set up custom conversion events. Step 1, get your pixel installed on your website. So I would just Google how to install a Facebook pixel. If you haven't done that, you're going to find people who've already built the content for it. Install your Facebook pixel. Go into your business manager or your ads manager. Ideally, you're working in the business manager, which is a separate conversation. But you're going to look for the section called Events Manager inside of whatever you're in. Just go to the menu, Events Manager, like I showed you before, and create a custom conversion event so that when you choose conversions as your objective, you can then attach it to it later on as you're building out the campaign. You can attach it to that conversion event specifically, meaning they went to a certain page or they completed the form on that landing page. I love conversions as an objective. It's a little bit more technical, so it's not for beginners in Facebook. All right, next one. Effective ways to get listings online. My common stock answer to get listings online is to get buyers. 65% of buyers are sellers. And what's typically the first thing somebody does if they want to sell their house? Generally, the earliest point of detection is they start looking for homes, because that's generally what they're moving because they want to move somewhere. So where are they going to want to move? So I would go after buyer leads like crazy. I want to give you more than that. Effective ways to get listings online. Right now, I'm just thinking about conversations I've had today with my coaching calls. I think there are so many absentee owners. Like I'd be in my CRS, my tax system. Ours is called CRS in Tennessee. I'd be in my tax system or in Remine or in Cole or whatever, finding people who have the right equity position, the right tenure in the property, who are absentee owners or who are likely sellers. And I'd be running Facebook ad campaigns designed to them, just talking about, hey, rates are so freaking low right now. That purchasing power is nuts. Your equity is at it's continuing to climb, but man, it's so high right now. Have you really thought about selling? Just getting the news out there from a content standpoint is what I'd be doing. And then letting people come to you if they want to take that offer. Let me do another one. I love it. Howard's in the house from Israel. What's going on, Howard, man? It's awesome. I love it. What are my take on GeoFarm cards? I assume we're referencing postcards. Yeah, I love I love postcards. They're a little cost prohibitive. Like 55 cents a stamp in the US is I could be on the Google Display Network, and for 55 cents, I can get probably 1,000 impressions on the Google Display Network. However, I love the kinesthetic, it's in hand postcards. We're seeing postcards work really nicely right now. So yeah, I'm a big fan of postcards. Do it. I hope that's your question. I already answered this question earlier. What else we got? So Andrew said 13 miles, it goes into Jersey. Can you trace Staten Island? No, not in Facebook. You're limited to a 15-mile ad radius, advertising radius. Now, Google, which includes YouTube ads, you can get down to a 1-kilometer radius. So there you could be more specific. However, that's likely to change by the end of the year because they're rolling out their fair housing new compliance standards by the end of the year. So I'd be looking for that to change on Google. Let's see. I'm looking through the comments. What else we got? I've heard Sunday and Saturday, Sunday afternoons are a great time to post and get attention. Maybe, Andrew. Maybe, but I'll tell you what I do is on Instagram, I go into my, let me see if I can do it for y'all real quick. I'll just show you. Let me share my phone up on the screen, so bear with me. Let's see. Screen mirroring, put it on my Mac. make that full screen. All right, let me share my screen up again. So the question is, you've heard Sunday afternoons are a great time to post and get attention, but it's like if I'm in Instagram, and here I am on my Instagram right now, if I click my menu right up here, I should be able to go to Insights, third one down, click Audience to the right over here, scroll on down, and it's going to tell me when my followers are the most active. So right now I'm looking at hours. I can change it to days, and I can tell you for me, Saturday and Sunday are my worst days to post on Instagram. Now I can tell you also, Facebook and YouTube have similar analytics. So I would actually look at your individualized analytics to dictate when you should post. I generally don't do a lot of my business-focused posting on weekends because I knew this. So I could click on a day like Thursday. What day? Today's Wednesday. We'll do Wednesday. So I have 6.8 thousand active users on a Wednesday. They're about the same every weekday. And they go down by 200 and 100. So like Saturday, my weekends are okay. Let's click on hours. And I can see what hours of the day are the most impactful for me to post. My peak time is right around late afternoon, dinner time. It's peak time for me. So I actually usually post right around after lunch because then I can ride the algorithm for as long as possible. It's kind of like riding a wave, right? I know that when I post on Instagram, it's really pretty much a 24-hour cycle. And I also know that time is of the essence when it comes to Instagram algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So I know for me, like, I want to get maximum ride time on that wave. So as soon as this thing starts going up, I'm going to post because that means I've got longer hours and the front end of when my post is the most attractive to get people to comment, to like, to heart it, and engage with it. And the more they do that, the more Instagram and Facebook interpret it as, oh, this is really amazing content. Let's show it to more people. So I want to ride that wave. So sure, I guess you could say Saturday and Sunday are great to post, but to me, what's great to post is when your followers are the most active. Use your own analytics. Hope that helps. All right. You're right. Google advertising is a whole nother course, which, by the way, if you're a member of our Tom Ferry Pulse community or any of our coaching programs, I'm doing one in a couple of weeks on Google Ads. It's going to be for just our clients, but we're doing that. Explain absentee owners for European market, please. I'll do my best, and I'm so happy you're watching right now. In the U.S., what we have in our tax systems, because it's public record, when somebody owns a property, you can actually go through most tax systems and figure out that, hey, the owner doesn't occupy. It's a non-owner occupied residence, which means they're a landlord. They're leasing it out likely. So you can reach out to an absentee owner that is a landlord. They're leasing it out and say, hey, have you thought about selling your property? Right now, values are here. Like one of the scripts I just worked on with one of my clients is if you're talking to an absentee owner, have the conversation and say, so if we can sell your property at this price point, how much equity are you going to pocket in that transaction? And they're going to be like, about $175,000. Okay, so how many months of rent do you have to collect in order to equal the amount of cash you could pocket today if you sold your property with that much equity? And they're going to be like 9 years, 10 years of cash flowing to get that kind of money in terms of cash value. So absentee owners as a space to maybe see, do they want to cash out of their investment properties and maybe reinvest in multifamily or something like that, or something in a different area with a lower price of entry, just making their money work for them. I hope that explains effectively. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. We're a little bit over time today. It was a great show, if I do say so myself. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure before you leave, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. If we're not connected on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, let's connect there. Let me put in my social icons again just so you can see them. And again, tag a friend. Make sure they see this so they can watch the replay. Give it a heart, give it a like, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Let people, let those systems know you like the content so more people can see it. I'm grateful for you all watching. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you all